I was raised by a small village called Kilbuck, New York, in southwestern New York. It was a town of just shy of 500. It was home. The social hub of town was not hard to find. It was the corner store, the Kilbuck store. The post office was housed there, and we all picked up our mail there. And if you wanted to know what was going on in town, all you had to do was ask the postmistress. She was full of information. If you wanted to solve the world's problems, there were always guys hanging out at the meat counter, ready to offer their opinion on a wide variety of subjects. But for us kids, it was usually hanging out around the pop cooler in the front of the store. After school, we'd come in, we'd plunge our hands into that icy cold water, pull out our favorite bottle of pop, buy a candy bar, and rehash the day. Well, at least until Reggie kind of shooed us all home. It was community in the realest sense. I didn't realize how much a community, or really appreciated it, until my dad became very ill. I know today that it was cancer. In those days, I just knew he was sick. The community rallied around us. I remember one day I was delivering papers, and suddenly one of the local teenagers drove up and said, "Harold, they just stopped and took your dad to the hospital in the ambulance. Would you like me to finish your paper route so you can go home?" I said, "No, that's okay, Doug. It's just a routine blood transfusion. He'll be back tonight. Thank you." Somehow the word got out that we were going through toilet paper like crazy with my dad's condition. One afternoon, we walked out onto the front porch only to find a case of toilet paper, over 100 rolls. Mysterious. The church brought food one Christmas, bags upon bags upon bags, and they hung around and they sang Christmas carols. The ambulance drivers that ferried my dad back and forth for those blood transfusions took pity on my brother and I, and one Christmas showed up with a basketball and football. They wanted to brighten our day. When my dad died, the ladies of the town provided a funeral dinner at the town hall. It was community in the truest sense, when you needed it the most. I think it's that sense of community that the gospel writer John is trying to remind us of in that story of Jesus raising Lazarus. Now, that may strike you as odd, because normally we focus on Mary and Martha's grief, and Jesus' grief for that matter, and their anger, especially at Jesus for delaying and not being there to heal him. It opens the door for a conversation about resurrection. And then there's that dramatic scene when Jesus goes to the tomb. "Show me where." And the women are all upset. "He's been dead for 3 days. He doth stinketh." And Jesus makes that announcement. "Lazarus, come out." And he comes out. Yes, John is reminding us of the resurrection. Not only the resurrection at the end of time, but that foretaste of the resurrection that greets us every morning with a new day in God's grace. In Jesus' death and resurrection, God reconciles us to God's self. But that's only part of the miracle. For when Lazarus comes out of the tomb, he is still wrapped. He is bound by the death clothes. And Jesus' command to those gathered is to unbind him and set him free. To free him up to again be part of the community of the living. Or I believe in the case of John, whose intention is to write to us as church and remind us of those things we forget so easily, like being a community that is setting people free instead of binding them. It is the community of the resurrected ones, those with new life. And John's right, it is easy for us to forget our role as the healers, the unbinders. It's far easier to bind, to choose your side and condemn the other. But John reminds us that above all, as we move forward, we as church are the healers of the breach. And oh, what breaches we have these days. Our work is cut out for us. And we do that as community, as we continue to reach out to those in need, to heal the sick, to bind up the broken, to walk with the lonely. In those things, we begin the gift of healing, of unbinding. And so, as we approach the celebration of the resurrection of Christ, let us be mindful of the resurrection that God has already given to us. The power to unbind and to set free, to heal and to be hope. Amen.